All right, team. Part 2, May 7th, a day with BOOKMAP, and we're just picking up where we started in the previous video. Now, if you have some questions regarding all the settings and everything that you see on the screen, please take a look at the previous video from the same day in the very beginning. So, let's get it going. And as I was telling you right here, you could have probably traded a long, although I wouldn't. You see that there is liquidity, but the liquidity is light. That's indicated by the whitish blue line. So you'd have to have your stop right here about 54, and you have 58. So it's not terrible, but you have all those lines of liquidity stacked up here at the top. And if you look at the pro version, maybe you could ponder a trade. But for me, that's a no-go, at least for now. Just squeeze this a little bit. Now here we're going down. There is some rapid absorption right here. They open up the gate. Right now you're not thinking about trades. This is huge, but you have to wait until some liquidity pulls up from below in order to have a valid entry. And you saw it in just a brief second. Just go back for a second. I'll show you. Play it again. Let's slow it down to 2x. Now we're watching and try to catch it. That's not that one. Right here, you saw we had the stop. We had a red line showing up. We're still going, and you can obviously see there is some absorption coming up here. That's a sweep. All right, so bump it up to 16, actually 32. And one of the things that you have to remember, if you're trading pre-market, 3 o'clock and 3:30, that's my time. So 1 hour and a half to 1 hour before the market opens, you can really see the United States bots. So these are bots coming from the United States. They're showing up, and you can clearly see them right here on the screen here at the bottom. And let me just squeeze that a little bit. So bots appearing right at the hour, and you can see their action. A lot more liquidity starting to show up right here. Now that's why we use the pro, because you don't see the bots. Same time right here, there are no bots. So let's just continue here for now. You can see there's liquidity right here. So now if you want to take a long trade, you can obviously take a long trade using this as a stop. That's going to be about 5 points. You have liquidity all the way up here to 70. Now I'm not saying it all works all the time. Nothing works all the time, 100% in the market. So if somebody tells you that, they're clearly trying to mislead you. Now this liquidity got removed. So now you can be worried about your trade if you took a long right here. And as you can see, we're just being stopped out. They added some more liquidity right here. More liquidity right here. Again, if you have some other reason to trade, you see, I'm gonna just put it back to 16. This dot right here could have been with a potential stop right here. Liquidity is up here, so that would be your to-go target. And that's where the other chart comes in hand. It's really good to have another chart. So you see they added liquidity right here. Your main liquidity still remains here. No change for the duration. So that's good support right here. Obviously you have better at 30. So you might want to wait until we get into a red zone. But if you're impatient, like myself most of the time, I would again enter here and having a stop hidden by that liquidity. They added some more up, so that's an upside signal. We have some absorption here. And let's just take a look at the, okay. You see what's going on, so they're adding liquidity here. Now, if I'm long from here, This is 48, 47. I'm long from 43, 44. That's just a way to get back square from this trade because that would have been a loss. So I'll probably get out. Another absorption right here. This is played. Let's see how it acts. Now, with this huge absorption right here, you can just monitor. Okay, so we have huge absorption, and you heard it in your in the stream as well. So there's absorption right here. You can short now with probably trying to stay above this liquidity right here, going down to 40. Now this will give you about it's one and a half risk reward. Not ideal, but that could be used as a trigger if you have something on the other chart as well. And again, you'll be targeting something right here. And now you see what's going on. They're trying no interest right here, no interest to push it down here. So 2-3 times. That was about, so you see 1, 2, 3. Now we're making a higher low. You see this liquidity is a few points below. You enter here at 48. This is 46. Probably scalp out and take 2 points. Or at least backstop it. See, they're trying more. They're adding some liquidity right here. Trying more. Okay, that will actually go good. So we have the end of our trade. If you didn't tap out, we have the end of our trade. We have absorption right here. Obviously, you can see it. It's much smaller than this one. So obviously, the strength is going down. Still be careful. So from here, I don't like this. I generally speaking, this is not a good thing to have. These are a lot of levels with liquidity going into 30. So if they want to just sweep through this one, they could in a heartbeat. So I probably would stay away from this being a zone, because where are you going to put your stop? Like you have 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Too much. So I'll probably just stay away from a trade at this moment. And we're obviously looking at the Trader Map Pro now. If we look at this, you can see that there's a level right here. And we had a stop, then we had some buy iceberg right here, but we had a stop. Obviously, the next zone it's just tight. Look, this is 47, this is 42. It's just tight. I mean, I wouldn't bother having a trade right here. Okay, now look what happened. They removed this liquidity. This liquidity still stays, and there's liquidity right here. This usually tells you that they're, making space for a move up. I just don't like that. But nevertheless, if you want to take a long trade, you probably could 5-point stop right here. I wouldn't. I'm just saying. So, for example, if this level was right here, just reverse scenario. If this level was right here, this red level, and I saw this opening right here up to 70, I'm taking that. I don't care. I just don't like stack levels like that. See, they added liquidity again. That was too small of a absorption in order for me to initiate a trade to this level. Just too small. If it was something like that, maybe you think about it. Now that you have a clear sight, but with this, not really. Okay, so we have absorption right here, and you're starting to hear the sounds because we are. I just switched the sound zone so you can actually hear them. You have absorption right here, but they removed the liquidity. So your next level is going to be right here, 53. That's 6 points. You have 6 points down here. Not a trade you want to take. And we're coming fast towards the market open. Now, if you see right here, this is the bar. It should end right around here. So you see we have plenty of information here. Now look at this. Okay, so we're going up, going up, going up. They're adding liquidity right here. Generally speaking, you might consider short here. It's a short way here all the way down here. So we have about 6 to 3. That's about 2 to 1 reward to risk. Now the only problem is this liquidity is not of any color, but you can see they're getting tired right here. Unfortunately, there's some absorption on the below side. So let's just see how it plays. Trying. Yeah. Okay, you saw how this one got bigger. So that is some sort of absorption. Unfortunately, there is nowhere to hide your stop above. Again, I don't use yellow and blue unless it gets like this. So this tells me, okay, so you see they're playing with the market. It's happening a little faster than normal. It's much slower, so you can actually adapt and think about it. But so for example, you see this big dot right here. You're not going to trade that. I mean, even if you want to take a long, I mean, it's like almost equidistant between the two zones. So there is absolutely no statistical. So okay, so here is a bigger dot, and now we're a little bit lower. So maybe you can be thinking about a long. Yeah, and especially if you have the other levels from the other chart. I wouldn't take it, but I'm just saying that this is something that you might be thinking of. So you see 1, 2 here, again, remove liquidity up to here. Now, if you want to be aggressive, you have 35 solid zone, you have 42, that's 7 points. Just a little too wide for me. 7 points, I'm not a fan. Okay, so now let's watch that. That's important. This got me thinking now. So let's just say you took a long here. Up until here, everything is fine. You have support, you have zones here. Now look how tight this gets. Just get out. Break even. It doesn't really matter. Break even, you just get out. It gets very tight. You see the window that you have right here for movement. There is liquidity on this side. There is liquidity on this side. Who's prevailing? Well, obviously, if you see the current order book, obviously this looks much higher, but that's also about 5 to 6 points below your buy point. So you don't need to risk that. It just doesn't make any sense. So you have another sweep right here. There's nothing that you can do still. Now remember, there's one thing that if you see stacked levels like that and you see a sweep, they might just go for the entire thing. So just wait. It's much healthier for you to see just one single level like that. Probably two, just like here. If we get there and there is nothing showing up, that's just a strong level. This one just tells me, hey, just come out and take our liquidity, or in most cases it might be just a hand that they're showing to the market to make it look like it's strong market, but they just remove it before it actually gets filled. So now you see what's happening. We're only left with this and then this. Now, if you want to be aggressive after all this absorption, you can probably try this. It's not big of a deal, like 4 or 5 points. And your next level is right here at 48. So that's about 10 to 11 points more. So it's 2 to 1. You have your risk reward. Look at your other chart. If you are into a zone, some of the standard deviations, maybe a recent low. Just like see here. If you look at here, that's a very strong level. And get that, when I'm zooming out, these liquidity zones are adjusting compared to prior zones. So like if I stretch it out, see, we might see more red. But if I zoom out, this red becomes orange because this is now visible. It's something like the volume profile on a chart that's catching all the volume that's happened on the chart. If I zoom out, I'm going to have more levels. If I zoom in, I'm going to have less levels. So some less important levels will become prominent levels on a very tight chart. So that works the same way. So there's another sweep right here, and they started adding liquidity here on the yellow side. You can see there's liquidity, but okay, I'll just show you that. That was important. You saw how there were some flashes of liquidity. Look now. So let's So you see they added liquidity here. We have some liquidity here. You see what happened in just a flash? They showed you liquidity here again. So there's that tightness again that we were talking about. Now we have two levels, but then we have this level on top. So this is no longer a valid trade. Now, if you took that, obviously you're going to be stopped out probably here. But this looks like it wants to go down again, just trying to take these levels and crash into the red. Now, obviously, because I said it, it will probably go up. But then again, I'm just telling you what I see at the moment. I really don't know what happened that day. I mean, I could have traded it, but you remember that I can't possibly trade it. So you see, there's a lot of liquidity coming up, coming down. We are approaching the market open. Remember, market open is right here at 4:30 for me. So it's going to be a liquidity galore, back and forth, back and forth. So I don't really know how to play. I usually don't trade that close to the market open. I just stay on watch for a little bit when the market opens. This is going to be very hard. And if I have a zone on the other chart, I'll probably trade it. Like, for example, the VWAP or some round number, I'll probably trade it like recent low, recent high. You may consider that, but generally, see, they're pushing down. They're trying for this. So, okay, I was just about to say, we just opened. Now, obviously, we don't want to use a tight stop when we have the market open. It's just at this level right here, it's the largest level that you see on your screen. I mean, look at it compared to probably not even close to, like, the second highest level is right here. So you can probably bet that this is going to hold and try to get a fill early during the market open. But you would have to use a wider stop. I don't like it. So generally I'll pass, but if you want to do it in the highest level that you see on a screen for quite some time is below you, you probably with some degree of safety, I would say, assume that it will hold. I'm not saying it will all the time, because that would be a very wrong assumption or suggestion from my side, but it might hold. You might consider that. And in this case, you'll be successful, but again, I cannot guarantee you that. So right now we're in the middle. You can see liquidity here, liquidity here. There's nothing that you can do. Again, this liquidity stays, so they're probably going to try that again. See, we're getting closer to it. Sweep. Another sweep. And again, they're trying here. So as soon as we get down here, you're probably safe, assuming a 5-point risk just below the second bottom liquidity that happened, trying for this up liquidity here at 42. You're probably safe. Would I do it? Not sure, to be honest. But you see, this is holding for now. Now it will get like this for a little bit. So we're now 10 minutes into the market. There's liquidity right here. So we just have to watch this. So they're bumping up liquidity here. Liquidity coming here, they're absorbing another sweep. Now this can also be considered. This sweep can be considered. I'm just gonna go for a 1 minute now. This sweep can be considered with stop right here. Again, that's about 5 points. But having this liquidity right here is not assuring. So you can try. I probably stay away. And I just pushed it so you can see every minute how it actually moves minute by minute now, because this is a very volatile period of the day. See, they're adding liquidity here. You have some absorption right here. That's the recent high. this could burst here. Let's just see how it interacts with this liquidity right here. And if it stops another time, maybe a short right here will be a good idea. So we have the absorption. We're going up above the absorption. Let's see if we get there. I was just about to say right here on this transaction, there is a short for you. Let's just get back and slow it down really to a what you're actually going to see during a live trade. So you see, this is absorption, obviously right here. Even now you can be thinking about the short. You see there is no more push, but let's see, there's one thing that I want to show you. There's another absorption. That's not the thing that I want to show you. You see those little dots that appear here without much trading? That signifies that there's not much of desire. So right here, there's no desire to trade. There is absorption right here, but right here, there is no desire to trade. Like there are no buyers anymore. Again, you see, stop, nothing happening here, nothing happening here. There's some absorption right here, then you have this sweep. So you cannot actually tell. This is a one-off event, so I'm not going to pretend that, you know, this happens, you're short, and you can expect a sweep. No, not really. This just happened because some news broke out, something happened that triggered that. But I'm just saying that the previous signals were there. You have liquidity, you have some zones below it that so-so. They're not stacked like levels like we saw before. They're just sporadic liquidity zones right here. So this could be used to trade. And then you had a lack of interest trading into the zone. There is no real absorption. There is absolutely nothing happening there. So it's just a spike. There's no bubble at all. Not even a small one. So now obviously we're going to be looking for these lows and this zone again. And we're going to be looking for some absorption. This obviously didn't work. There is nothing here for you. It's too far away from the zone. You cannot just, enter a long because the zone is below. You just want to see something close to the zone. That wasn't really close. So now it's empty. This is empty. This is empty. Pure statistical speaking, you're probably better off with a long, but you cannot just take the long right here. Let's just see what happens here with the bots are. Okay, so we have more bots. And here, so let me just stop this for a second. Here, if you were, obviously you can see that's a bigger level. So you can see here on the trader's map, that's not such a big level, right? Obviously it is a level, but not such a big thing. But if you look right here onto where we have the bots, obviously that was a huge level. Unfortunately, there's a lot of noise around that, but that was the red level. That's a huge level right here. So you could use it. Here we have a stop, 57 is not too big. Then right here at the bottoms, you have some icebergs of buying. So it's, so as I said, there's a trade-off between looking at both. If you want, we just switch to this one just for now, but you will see it's a little bit harder to see. See, they're pushing, there's some icebergs coming in. But the bots are staying there. So these lines that you see right here, these are bots. So it's a little bit harder to see actual zones. We're just going to be looking right now. So we have another stop run here for 25. I wouldn't consider that important at all. But you can see not a lot of zones are sticking in, right? This one is staying, obviously. So you can see this one is staying. We have one right here that is staying, but we're right in the middle of it. So if you look at the trader's map, there's absolutely nothing. And let's just go back. I thought that we were at 16. We're not. We're at 1. I'm thinking, what's going on? Okay, so let's see. This one remains, obviously. And you can see, like, if you're looking at a minute by minute time frame, that is really hard to trade. This one still remains. Okay, you saw that, I hope. This one remains, but you didn't see that. But right here, this liquidity that got added. So now you're in a very tight position. I was just about to say, all right, we're approaching. You have an iceberg here. It's a sell iceberg. This is on top. But the problem is that this basically gives you nothing, because there is some support here, here, now it's here. So you don't really want to trade it. Now here, you see twice they're knocking on the door. There is absorption here, there's absorption here. But look at where the volatility is. Look at where the volume is. You can't really do anything with it. And see, they break, it stays here. Right here. There is more. There is more. Now this was on the sell side. Now this is a stop. Let's look at the other chart. Do we have something on top? We don't. It's right here. We broke through this. Now we have it right here. Would you short? No. You wait. This one now remains to be seen. This is your stop. But the problem is, this is here. So it's equidistant. You cannot really trade at it, right? Here's some stops on the low side. There is absorption right here. And look how tight this is. You cannot really trade at. You see that if you trade on the trader's map right here, you saw this, so you could have actually traded that. But that's on the trader's map. You don't see it right here. It's really complicated to see it right here because you have the bots running around you. So that's the value of the trader's map. Again, we have two zones right here. You can hide your stop. This gets red. You can hide your stop. You can trade and hide your stop right here. It's 5 points, and you're looking down to the red zones. Another absorption, but this is not going down. So this is a problem, and they are building here. So if you are short with this or right here, you'd probably think, I want to get out. Or of course, you can take your chances. You're still trading to the lower zone, but now it's 1-to-1. I don't know if that's good for you. See, we're approaching this zone. We're backing off. There's absorption. There's absorption. So it's back and forth, range bound. This is a confirmation that it wants to go down, but this is a big zone. See, we push that absorption. Let's see if we have something else right here. So this is the zone that you're looking at. Looking at 55, looking at 54. And now this is a zone for me. Generally, as I said, round numbers are zones for me. So as soon as this gets absorbed or some reaction here, I might be looking for a short. And that didn't even work there. So I'll be looking for a short. There's another absorption right here coming. That's the absorption. It's not the sweep. We hit that. I'm looking for a short. There's a sweep. So I said, there's the first short. You hide here. Let's see, 53. That's 55. 2 points, 3 points, perfect. You hide here. You go here. You attack this. So you have a good short. Here you'd probably have to take profits, or at least partial profits, backstop the trade. Now you have some safety net right here. But here's the thing, like if it gets too volatile, sometimes this will just bounce, take to the next level, and then go back and reverse sharply. So it's always safer to at least take some partial profits. This is, remember, the stops right around here where the mouse is, 55. Again, go up, almost touch it, here into the sweep. If the sweeps are bigger, sweeps and stop runs can be very powerful places for support and resistance. That's a different thing. Don't worry about that. I'm just saying that we're going back into this zone. And if you're looking at a normal chart, that's just going to be the recent highs. So you can just use that. Recent highs, going back, recent lows. Again, this stays here. Chop off some more of the trade. And again, recent highs, our stop should be right around here. They're adding a level again to protect this zone. You can see right here. There is absorption. If you haven't taken anything from the trade, take it out now. This absorption takes them out. Just can't risk it. They removed that liquidity, added liquidity here. Absorption. And remember, if you're knocking on a door a few times, eventually you're going to break the door. And now it became too congested for a trade. Now still you have some space to the downside, but then you don't have like a firm place for a stop. The only firm place that I see right here is the 60 zone. So you don't want to go there. Obviously, you have something on top right here, but you have red here, yellow here. If you look at the normal chart, so still, that's a sweep. All right. Now with this sweep in mind, but again, it's 1-to-1. No trade for me. That's the thing. Like looking at the zones, the first thing that you have to think about is just like risk to reward ratio. Okay, very red here. So let's see if I can zoom in. But again, okay, if you think about it, all right, you can trade here for 2 points, make 4 points. Is it worth it really? I would say no. You can do that. Again, sweep, as I said, sweep into 2 levels, cut this level, probably going to this level now. But don't take it as this is a trade. It's not. You have a lot of levels, but you only have 2 orange levels in between. That is a solid reason to go short. This is a solid reason to go short. Even this one would be a solid reason to get short. Here, this thing, nah, not really. That's not a reason to go long. This is your reason to be short, that's for sure. That's not a reason to be short. I'll show you if okay, now you have a reason to go long. If we go down, test this, you have a reason to be long. But only here, not here. Doesn't make any sense. It's 1-to-1. So you have the support right here. Maybe on this dot, you'll be thinking about this to here. But again, it's not such a great risk to reward ratio. One thing that can give you a clue that they are not exactly wanting to push the price, or basically this stays passive, it's looking for a fill, it doesn't get lowered, right? So you see they're removing, they're adding, but this one just stays constant. There's some absorption. Okay, that's the first real sign that they want to actually push it down. There is one here. Okay, yellow flashing. Not really. Not a lot of action from the 2 sides. They're just stalemate. You can see just price oscillating between the 2. So here's a short, here's a long. And in the middle, you just, do nothing. And this is how much that's been going on, 32.48. So that's about 15 minutes of nothingness. All right, we got here. They removed the liquidity, however. So what does that tell you? They're not active. They're just scaring the market. They just want to go down. These are the zones. Now look, this is one of the amazing features of BOOKMAP. You see that, right? All the liquidity is gone. These are the levels that remain. Volatility coming. Get out. Whatever you're doing, just get out. It doesn't pay you to be here. Just watch. Something's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, it dropped. When you see the bots appearing, then it's safe to trade. Now you see what's going on. Okay. Bots right here, they were here. Let's see if some bot will appear. I'm not taking a long here. I'm just saying it's not safe. When you see the bots appear again, oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, apologize. So we were at the bot removal chart. I was just about to say that very few instances when you were expecting liquidity, you will see the bots the bots just disappearing. So this whole thing will be blank, like a blank section, just like here, but you don't have this level and no levels right here. So right now, if you're looking at this chart, there's nothing to do. If you're looking at this chart, it's a complete mess. What do? You just stay out. There are not enough levels right here to basically warrant your attention to trade. Let's just zoom in a little bit. So you can see this red thing right here, and you can see the red thing right here. Obviously, support resistance. Once this breaks, we go through this level like it's nothing. We go through this level like it's nothing. There is absorption right here, but there is nothing here to support us. We need something like that. Remember how this looks? That's what you want to see. You see that? That is your signal. You see this? This is your support. But remember, it stays here. Here it's getting, removed and removed and removed. So that's what you want to see. This one looks good. But as I said, there's nothing else to confirm that this is going to hold for me. So I don't want to trade that. this level right here got added, this level right here got added. The moment this bubble appeared, we had a level added. Let's see how it looks on this chart. The moment this bubble appeared, see this became orange. It was orange right here, yellow here, got here, higher high. If you're familiar with that concept, higher high, you can try that on this bubble. And I know some people say, well, how do you catch that? Well, look, how do you catch that? Real time. Because on 16x, you are not going to catch it. I agree with that. You see some pushing and pulling coming here. Just the minute for minute. So this is probably how a minute looks. You're not doing anything right here. You need the bubbles. And some other day I'm going to explain how to read that, because that's also important. Right now you're just not doing anything. Just watch that. You can clearly see that it's stalling right here. This bow is getting bigger. It's stalling here. Did you see this liquidity being added right here? That's your sign. So now we have liquidity. Come on. Now we have liquidity at 2 levels. We have some. You're probably not going to see this yellow liquidity because you have it zooming out. But this is adding now to a second liquidity. So look, this looks much bigger now. So this could be your potential long. Again, they're removing this liquidity. You can be scared now. But again, you've already placed your trade. You want to get out? You can get out. 2 more. This liquidity zone right here. Just let's look at that. There is some reddishness. There's some reddishness here. Unfortunately, these are the bots. So let's just play here. See how this became yellow. Just remove that and play it on the map without the bots. Just watch that right here. And this is usually how I watch it, like 5 minutes. See, the moment they got here, that's yellow now. And the only thing that you're waiting now for is a big circle. So now that you see the absorption, you can trade. This also try to change color. Red now, support coming. So they're buying. This is their stop, about 6 points lower. This now became red. More. You see how this is going? This is here. This is here. 2 to 1, sort of to speak. You can actually trade it. And that's how you look at it. And don't ask me if it's 100% correct. It's not. It's never going to be. You are never going to. Okay, so you see how this flashed? That was your exit time. You are never going to get 100% in anything that involves trading. So if somebody tells you that, as I said earlier in the stream, just, well, here's something that I noticed I haven't noticed before. I don't really use it that much, but I just want to show you. See how the delta just leveled off? We're just going down, delta's level off. So that's another sign that this move can be, getting really tired. All right, now you're probably thinking, okay, so this actually broke the low right here. We have 2 more circles. Again, you're absolutely right. And we have some volume right here accumulated. Now this is about 5 points. You could have taken long. I wouldn't. I would have taken it right here, but see, that's running away. They added liquidity right here. So that's already 8 points. I'm not going to take it. If this remains here in the market and they try to test it back, and there's a big circle, I'll probably think about it. All right, so let's see what happens here. Let's take it one step at a time. They reacted somehow. And I would have probably missed that one. It's the previous low, obviously. There is no interaction whatsoever right here. So that happened way too fast. Now you can still trade at. It's about 3-4 points. If you enter right here, it's about 3-4 points to the stop. You can probably trade at with a set mind that it is going to go here. but I already missed it, meaning that looking at it, I'm just didn't go it. So let's see how it acts. Speed it up. Okay, that's your exit sign again. You have that sweep and absorption right here. That's your exit sign again. There is some more absorption coming out here. They're building here, so this might probably go up actually. Just the fact that you see this level. If we go lower to this level and we have some absorption right here, sweep. Okay, so we went here. We had this absorption in the sweep, and there's nothing after that. Do you take a long? No, you don't. Where are you going to hide your stop? Always think about that. Where are you going to hide your stop? You need liquidity to hide your stop below. And there's none. Now, I know what some people will say. Oh my God, ICT and his concepts, and he says that's going to be a liquidity run. No, it's not going to be a liquidity run because there's no liquidity right here. Let's just look at this chart. There's liquidity, right? If they go, they're going to go for 18, right? But more often than not, this liquidity appears when they place the trades, and that's their stop. So is there liquidity below? No, I'm not placing a trade. I don't care. It might be the greatest signal in the world, like a big bubble right here. Just because that there's no liquidity below, I don't really care. I don't want to be part of this trade. So you see, they're starting to build some liquidity right here. I'm just going to say. So they're starting to build some liquidity here, and you can think of, all right, this might be over. The moment that you see those, blue lines here appearing, the only problem is that they're building blue lines on top again. So, you want to be trapped in something like this? I don't. So I'm just staying away. This is a new zone. So let's just watch if we get closer to this zone and this one frees up a little bit. So we have some time, right? So some time obviously plays to trade. And if you see, there's blue, red, there's yellow and red and yellow, and there's yellow and red and yellow on the bottom. So just tell me you don't do anything here. Okay, now you have two at the bottom. You might be thinking, all right, that's a good long. But again, you have about 7 points. So just wait until it gets there. All right. Then you have some resistance right here. This is moved. This starts stacking on this side. This could be a short if you think about it. That 30, 35, it's going to be hard. They started pushing right here, but that would have been long gone. Even if you consider that that's 30, they started adding here 23. So 7 points. 7 points is quite a lot. And the other thing that if you are looking at the delta, you see delta is going down. This is staying flat. Delta is going down. So probably this wouldn't be a good idea to enter long. And there we go. It's fake move. Now, obviously, right here, you saw there was some support, but it was only blue and yellow. Now here, we're getting to the support. There is this sign. Not a fan of just using yellow for a stop, but if you want to feel lucky this day, right, there's like a 4 point up until 39, which is 13 points. So it's not out of the question, but that's going to be very aggressive trading. Exactly. So we gain here. And that wouldn't stop you, obviously, because you have to be a little bit lower than the zone. So about 4 points, I wouldn't stop you, but you still be, I don't know, like 2 points in profit. And then you see that. See, they're adding here, and that just decides to go. Okay. Anyway, that aggressive trade would have probably worked, but okay. Now that's something that you want to see if we're moving price up. So if you took that trade, you'll just stay there for that. Good. Now watch the top. So you see that red flashing? That's telling you that they're trying to stack here on the sell side. So just be worried. Start, taking some partial profits. There's a sweep. There's absorption. They're stacking here. This moves here, stacking more. more flashing. You see the red flashing. So now it's nobody's game. So you should be out by this time. And let's face it, that's where you enter. Something like here, 26. 26, that's 34. That's about 8 points. Your stop was about 4 points. That was good. Obviously, you're running into bigger zone right here. There's one more here. There is some distribution going on here, absorbing this move. So you might want to stop, obviously, with your long trade here overall, or just if you want to short, this one is fine. I mean, look at it, 40, 38. Let's just go with 3 points. 3 points is fine. 3 points for a risk is fine. Obviously, having those bubbles right here into the zone will take you to take partials, but they're stacking here. It's red. Again, stacking more here. So even if you took a short, that trade so far looks good. Going into these zones right here. Again, testing the same thing. This one's broken, so we're just left with that. I'm just about to say, if you see this and then this is lower high, see, we don't even get here. Lower high is here, obviously higher high, higher low here, and we just took out this liquidity. Going back for more, you're still short, get out. Where's the next level? We have a next level right here at 50. 50 is one of my zones, so always 50. I always trade at. This liquidity right here will probably hold. They removed it. Remember, right here. You don't have a safe net, right? There's nothing below you. They removed it. The moment this guy here, they removed it. So what were they doing? They're probably spooking the market. Let's just watch how the CVD will react now. They're right here. See them? So that even if you take that long, you have to be very careful. They show here. All right, there's a sweep. There's more liquidity right here. There is something showing up here. Again, trying to defend this level. But this is like, see, they just added right here. So even if you take it that right here and think about, all right, this will catch me right here. This one should be your exit. You're just out of here. There's no reason for you to stay into the trade. And that right here on this sweep is about 32. You're going back to 28. That's 5 points. Easily with a 2-3 stop point. Stop. This is red now. Very red. Very hot zone. It's getting bigger. You can probably well, okay. It just disappeared because of the scaling of the chart. Now look at this. So we have this. We just sliced through it. So this could have held, but you never know. You have no idea. I wouldn't take this. I would take the short up to here, right around here, but I wouldn't take this one. I just decided to go, and that's fine. Sometimes it will happen. There was this absorption right here. Again, there's no reason to place a stop anywhere above. You don't have any significant zone, just like here. But right here, you could, with the sweep, you can definitely place your stop right above here. Look what happened here. This stops us. Go back. This is the zone. So right here on this circle, you can take a long trade. This sweep would be a problem for you, but again, you'll be looking for a trade up to this level right here. Continuation, little flag. You'll be looking for, and see they're pushing up, up, up. And you'll be looking for a continuation up to this zone. We're right about it. So there were some, okay, this is a problem right here. It's getting bigger. They're strong enough maybe to push this zone because they're pushing here as well, but this is a double red zone. and that's the 50. So that might be a short. Now here's the problem that I face. 50 is one of the good zones that I like. But then we have this liquidity. What do? I don't take the trade because of this liquidity right here. It's not significant liquidity, but nevertheless, even with this absorption, they're now building. I cannot actually think about taking a trade right here. Now, you can hide your stop. Okay, now it's a difference. They're just, playing with me. Now I would take the trade. I would take a short, but it's a very aggressive with very tight stop. And with all this liquidity here, chances are very slim. Yeah, no, get out. No, get out. Unless there's news. Okay, just get out. And that's ridiculously tight right now. How do you trade that? You see, it's like liquidity on both sides. There's like a face-off. It's like a boxing game. See, and I hope you see the difference between this and this and this and this and this and this right here. Maybe there was some news. I don't know. And obviously this was bigger, that prevailed for now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bounce back and then go up. Or if this being removed completely in order for it to clear a path. They're adding more liquidity right here. So the sellers are, they want to sell. Let's see if this side gets absorbed. And still, that's not a trade. I see they added more here. And let me just stop this for a second. See, these are no trades. That's the beauty of BOOKMAP. Let's just see where the trades are. Liquidity is below. So let's just see what happens when it starts dropping. They have liquidity here on top. Let's just see what happens when they start dropping. You'll see it. Look. Some trades right here. Nothing here. Just nothing, right? Zoom in. How it just goes away. Like the liquidity just goes away. There's nothing here. And just the red leaves. We just leave with the red right there. I see they're just adding more liquidity, more liquidity, more liquidity. Now, let's see if this one gets taken. So it's just a game for them right now. I hope nobody gets trapped between that. That's real right here. But this was just like, if you imagine a cake, so you have like two sides of the cake, and then in the middle, just have like puff. So that was like this puff. There was just nothing there. So they removed that liquidity as well. Now they're adding again. And I wouldn't trade anything right here. That's about 10-point difference. I just wouldn't trade anything. But that was the cap right here. That was a hard cap right there. And right now we have absolutely nothing. Let's see what the bots will tell you. See, looking from the sides of the bots, there's absolutely nothing here. It's just crazy. There's nothing that you can actually trade here. This goes down, probably. Okay, no, not anymore. And that changes every single time, so just worry about that. No. If I'm looking at this, I'll tell you it goes down, but now that they added this liquidity, not sure anymore. See, there's really nothing here. That could be used, obviously, but I don't see like a big trade here. That's 3-4 points. That was good right here. This thing right here could have been used now with this buff, however. You cannot basically tell that. You see how they removed all the bots right here? was I telling you about? Late at 4. See, there were no bots there. So there's really nothing to do right here. You don't see any bots right here. You don't see any bots right here. News coming in, whatever. Just get out. It's not going to be beneficial for your trading if you just try to catch any of that. It's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard. Look at the sizes here: 441, 100, 489, 105 stops. Look at that, 119. It is just nuts. But that's the beauty of, okay, and bots are starting to show up, so liquidity is going to drop, and you see a very nice level right here. I was just about to say, look at this level. The moment we got below that level, 38, you could have probably traded with a very tight stop. But the moment that you see that, you just know you cannot possibly trade that. Just wait. They're just going down. They're just going down, and they're going to 580, 600. Oh, that's a very tight level. So 600 is a round number, century mark. Always something that I look for. So even if you don't have levels right here, just checking this map right here with all these. Look. Okay, just a second. Look at that. Zoom in. You see the levels right here at 600. You see what's going on at 600. 211, 263 stops, 433 stops, 370 baht, iceberg. This is something that you can use. Now, obviously, this lasted, what is it, 600, go 95 for a stop, something like that. You need about 5-point cushion, but 695 for a stop. This goes to 10, get out, especially with this liquidity. But round numbers and semi-round numbers, so hundreds and 50s, they're always important. They're always important. They're always going to be some action around them. So be careful about these zones. And I cannot stress this enough. A lot of people just overlook them. Obviously here, you don't need to be anywhere because you have this and this on top. But just pay attention to these zones. They are incredibly powerful zones, and people overlook them. And I have absolutely no idea why. The VWAP and the round numbers are probably two of the most important zones that you can ever think of. I don't care about volume profiles. I don't care about naked volume point of controls. I don't care about recent highs, recent lows. These zones, they just work. People just forget about them. I don't know why. That's an amazing zone right here. You can see it. If we get there, you might want to trade. So we broke over that. So there was nothing here that you can actually look. If you look at a 5-minute chart, there's nothing that you're going to see. It's insane right here. But nevertheless, it's something that you must pay attention to. Okay, so here's the level. We have somewhere right here. We have this level. We have this level. Pick your fight. That's 10 points. Not going to work. That's very close to the zone. This might work to the upside, but 10 points of a stop for ES. No good. No bueno. Thank you so much. Not taking that. We have about an hour and 30 minutes, and I don't think that my recording goes that far. Let's see. We have a sweep. We have some zone. See, no, nothing. Zone is right here. So you just have to wait to see. But again, look at the liquidity. Look at the way this moves. I don't think you want to be involved in that trade. Look at the zone now here. We have the 50. So if we come in contact with the 50, this might be a good short. But if we come in contact with it, otherwise, no, thank you. Another sweep. It's 39. Too far away from the 50. 50 is good though. Look at it. It's red and red and red. We're making a hard low. Now we don't get to the 50. See, they added more liquidity right here. So if you're using the normal chart, you're going to see this liquidity. If you're not using normal chart, or something like this, you're going to see liquidity right here. But that's about 20 points later. So no, thank you. That's not going to work for you, obviously. But they're using a wider stop because liquidity affecting everyone. Sorry, not the liquidity, but volatility is affecting everyone. They cannot afford to use a small stop, obviously, right? So this is the moment that liquidity was added right here at 39, and at that time the trade was at 29, so 10 points. No, it's just not going to work. Obviously, it went to the other liquidity with a sweep. That could have been a long signal, but it's very tough, and I'm going to say very tough. Okay, we go into the 50. I'll probably take a short here, unfortunately, and that's the other problem is I don't have anything here to base my stop on. So it's just going to be a pure, like, something around 55 points above. That's the stop for these levels. If you don't have anything right here, they add something here. No, you see, there's absolutely nothing here. So at about 49.50, I'm just going to go seeing that 612, 300, 128 stops. Just go use that if that's not broken. If that's broken, just like here, see, they added the liquidity back, but only at 41. So again, 10 points, too wide for me. I'm going to risk it here with a 5-point stop. If it works, it works. If not, fine. Taking my losses another time. Again, there is some absorption right here. I don't know if you want to try the absorption with this volatility, but at least you have a place to hide your stop. Right about the 50, this is 44. Still 6 points. A little bit wide for me, but nevertheless, my work in this volatility setting. And I don't know, I probably did not record the entire session. There's a little bit left, but it looks like they're stacking up right here. So you can see the red. So you can definitely go lower, but again, 39, 48, a lot. Now you can switch to the micros if this gets that volatile. You can just switch to the micros and trade. Let's see, I don't know, 5 macros. If you're trading one contract of ES, or just base it off that. That's the way to portion the risk, because with the ES, you might face some problems. And yeah, I think that my recording will just stop here. I don't know what happens. Yeah, it looks like I did not record until the end, so 30 minutes left, guys. But I do apologize for that. I'll check the others. I'll make sure that they're full. I intend to do this like on a regular basis because I think it's a very good studying tool. So I hope you like this. That's the second part of May 7th, and I'll start uploading May 8th and May 9th. I hope you like it, and if you have some comments and questions, leave them in the comment section. Of course, if you like what you see, subscribe so you don't miss new videos. Hit that notification icon so you're notified when I upload a thing, and leave a like. I mean, it really helps the algorithm. I've said it before, I don't really care about subscribers. I don't really care about building the channel. I really want to have people that are going to use this information for their benefit, and that's all that matters to me. So have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.